Welcome back, everyone, to the Ledgestone Insurance Open presented by Discraft and brought to you by GK Pro. Go Throw. We're here in the back nine of round one, the women's featured card with Catrina Allen, Paige Pierce, Sarah Gilpin, and Hailey King. We have had quite a battle so far. Catrina with a -5, Hailey King banging putts with a -4, Paige Pierce with a -3, and Gilpin sitting at even. I'm here with Madison Walker.
Hey guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the front nine coverage. We are heading into the back nine where there are still many birdies to be had, starting here on hole 10. This is downhill 393 feet. There's a tree kind of guarding the easy hyzer route, so you'll see a lot of ladies throwing a flex shot here. There is only OB on the right hand side if you go deep in that pond. Other than that, there's no real trouble to contend with.
Hailey, not enough flex on her force there. She doesn't like it, but she'll still have a long look. Kat going with her D2. Not the turn she's looking for either.
Wanting it to flip up a little bit more than that. The wind here was crossing, I believe it was from left to right. Made for a really tough flex shot.
Paige Pierce here, throwing a felon.
What?
On this huge down.
Choice.
Also did not get the turn. So we have a repeating issue here. We'll see if Sarah can
Must be a beat up
find
felon.
the turn. She does find the turn.
She loves those flex shots.
Beautiful. Still leaving herself a long putt.
There's kind of a weird little marshy area just outside of circle 1. They had a lot of rain in the past week, so there's some muddy areas, and the bottom of this fairway happens to be one right where Sarah is standing. Looking for her 2 from circle 2. Little fan grip putt, doesn't quite get it there, but she'll have an easy par.
Hailey from about 60, 55, 60. Little tentative, doesn't like it, but as we see, nobody's really getting this hole unless Paige does.
Oh, little low. Only 3 2s on the field from this hole, which is very surprising. Like I said, the wind was kind of tough to get your disc to flip over. I think a sidearm is almost the way to go with this hole. But it is definitely birdieable, and I think we'll see more birdies on it in future rounds. Good job, Jennifer Allen, Lauren Butler, and Kona Panis with their 2s.
Which I think they all probably threw backhands, so
100%.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of need that disc, that flex to get the distance all the way to 390 or whatever.
Moving on to hole 11. This is a tough little par 3, another downhill hole. There's water on the right-hand side and a tee area that is out of bounds on the left-hand side. That's about pin high. You contend with this black fence gate on the right. You will see Hailey going between the gap of the fence and the tree, putting it down about halfway down the fairway, not quite to circle 2. She'll have a little approach from there. We'll see, I think Catrina bite off a little bit more, maybe playing over that fence on the right.
She's going H3 V2. She's looking for a little bit of glide in that hybrid, and it looks like it works out perfectly for her. Tough roll, but she's still inside the circle.
There's some stringed OB deep. That doesn't come into contention to most people, but we do see Kat flirt with it.
Paige throwing that lucid verdict. Getting up there with the good roll.
Towards the pin. There's some nice little bunker logs at the bottom side of pin high of the green that protect you from rollaways going into the water, which I think is really nice on this sloping green.
Gilpin with a strike. Trying to get lots of distance, hits the shrubbery. She'll have a tricky approach from there.
All the approaches to this green are tricky. It's so steeply sloping.
Yeah, going with the judge here. Keeping it close. Gets a little roll inbounds. Got a 15-footer. Hailey also choosing mid-range off the tee there. She really likes those mids. Discraft does make great mids.
They make great mids, and she can get them far.
Paige for birdie. Off the top, the inevitable roll here. nearly any time you miss a putt on this green, it is going to roll somewhere. Paige trying to save the par. Misses.
A little bit of a wild putt.
That's gonna haunt her a little bit. Cat with the birdie. Wow, that's maybe the only one in the field today.
It is 100% the only birdie in the field today.
This is such a score separator. I really like this hole.
Me too.
Hailey with a rare miss from short. Gilpin trying to clean up this par. Easy peasy.
No problem. Paige looking to save her bogue. Quite a few bogeys on this hole. There's so many ways that you can mess up, and when you do, you're going to be punished. So makes a lot of sense. Like Hokum said, this is a great score separator.
Cat really separating herself right there with that birdie.
Moving into another separator hole. This hole 12, 280 feet uphill, plays longer than that. It's sort of an island hole. There is out of bounds all the way around and all of the tall grass. You'll see some of these feature card ladies going for it with the hyzer through that narrow gap you can see. It's a blind shot. It's very scary. The wind is swirling. I think we're going to also see some people lay up in between those two tree clumps in that gap. Cat goes for it.
H1V2. Ooh. Just a little bit too much hyzer. It's easy to happen up that hill. And also that tee pad actually faces into those trees. So if you follow the tee pad, you're kind of pulling away from the line in order to actually hit that gap.
Sarah goes for it as well. Falls short in the tall grass. I went for this in practice. I think that it's not quite worth it. It's such a difficult shot. So watching these women run at it is very impressive to me. Takes some guts.
Hailey with a predator.
Wow.
Also skipping, but it looks like she's safe.
Very tight corner.
And Paige with that verdict she loves so much. Doesn't like it, but she sneaks in the green.
So Catrina and Sarah will move to the drop zone. It's probably, what would you say, a 60-footer?
Roughly, yes, 60, 70.
Yeah. Ooh.
Ooh.
Great bid.
Wow.
What putters does Sarah putt with?
You know, that's a good question.
That's a great question. She throws a mixed bag, so we're all...
I think she's a judge girl.
Okay.
Hailey with the splash out.
Looking for the 2.
She's trying to find that stroke. She was on fire during the front 9 and kind of has slowly degraded a bit. But I see her finding it again.
Paige can't quite find the chains either.
Kind of contagious here.
Only 5 2s out of the 44-person field on this hole. That surprises me that there's even that many. I think it's such a challenging tee shot, and being blind as well, I just think it's so intimidating. And
with the headwind they had, it's definitely one of those you're gonna make that choice for a layup a lot of times. All the locals tell me just lay up.
Me too, and I think that's the way to go. I think that's a smart play.
I don't know. I've got both in my bag, trying to figure out depending on the wind. So, or maybe as you're coming down the stretch, especially that final round. So Cat losing one there, but still with a commanding lead.
Jennifer Allen in the hunt from a different card, hanging out towards the top of the leaderboard. Moving on to hole 13, another birdie hole for the women. 330 feet. You have to have some distance, but it is reachable. It's flat. There's OB on both sides of the fairway in the tall grass, so there is a little bit of scariness if you flip your drive over, and there was a bunch of wind on this hole as well because it's wide open. The basket's nestled here under some trees, so you have to kind of tickle through the branches if you want to get all the way to the basket.
OB's a little tighter this year than it ever has been.
Definitely.
Hailey going with the vulture. Little bit of flip on that fairway and scooting in there inside the circle from about 20 with a slightly low ceiling.
You sort of have to flex something here. There's not a hyzer line because of those branches you can see hanging down to the right just off the tee. Paige is keeping it low. She doesn't even let the branches bother her at all.
Paige with the felon puts it really close. Great shot. Cat going with the H1V2. She want a little more flip there, and she's gonna have an outside the circle with a low ceiling.
Pretty consistent right to left wind here all day. Sarah doing what she does best with that lovely hyzer flip to flat, full flight flexing shot. Puts
Gets
it inside
her
the circle.
Yeah, gets her bolt right at that edge. You can see Cat from a knee throwing a little floaty putt. Oh,
Ooh.
that was a great look.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Sarah from inside the circle. Right in her wheelhouse. And Hailey trying to find that stroke here on the back.
Just barely off. We want to see more slow-mos.
Come on, Hailey. Paige with the birdie.
Only birdie on the feature card.
Putting her within one of Catrina Allen. These ladies will tap these little baby putts out.
Quite a few birdies from the rest of the field, as to be expected on this hole. This is a really great attackable hole for the women's field.
Those low trees on the green really make it interesting. I love I love this course. One of the reasons I love this course is that the greens are very interesting.
Mm-hmm. All of them.
And I think that really makes the course play more fun
than most golf courses do.
And really just showcases the skills of the players.
Moving on to hole 14, another par 4. This is such an interesting hole. There's some low-hanging branches off the tee that you can't throw a hyzer or a flat line. You almost have to flex something. But you want to make sure you get over on that disc because all of the trees and the tall grass on the left-hand side are out of bounds. You want to go pretty much straight, not try to bite off too much of the corner, and then you have a nice little hyzer or straight shot into this tucked away green to the left-hand side. There is out of bounds on the left in the same tall grass or tall tree patch, and there's also OB on the right, but I don't think we'll see people contend with that.
Paige with her felon trying to get a big skip left. Paige is one of the people that can actually get to this hole, and she has shown us exactly how to do that.
She goes around the corner.
Hailey also has the opportunity here to get here for an eagle. Throw in her Kong.
Oh, gives it a lot more height than she wants. Gets tangled up in those early branches. It's going to make her second shot pretty tough.
Cat also, we are lucky to witness several of the players that can get to this hole. Cat going D2, little bit low. She's hoping it doesn't skip into the OB, and it doesn't, but doesn't give her quite that look at eagle. Gilpin with her bolt. She throws those beautiful flex lines, getting around that little low-hanging branch, leaving herself out to the right side, which is the best way to approach that green.
Hailey trying to possibly save her birdie here. Throwing a predator, is that right? I believe that's her predator, and lands inside circle 2.
She actually threw a force there.
Oh, force. Okay.
Yeah, so need a little bit more distance there on this longer par 4.
Sarah throwing what looks to be a blind shot. This tree's a good indicator on the right-hand side. It's about 25 feet away. She goes just past it inside the circle.
Cat with an easy layup for birdie. Hailey trying to still get the birdie here. With her putt, I think it's possible. But again, just a little bit off.
All over the basket. Paige for eagle. Definitely the only one, I believe, looking for eagle.
Not happy with that. You can see a little bit of frustration. She's got a couple holes left here to kind of try to catch Catrina.
Sarah with a little bit of an awkward straddle putt, tries to make it work, but she'll still get away with the par.
And Paige with the birdie, even though she had an inside the circle miss.
Look at all those gnats.
Yeah, wow. The gnats out here are pretty nasty. Thanks to D-Mart Pro Shop and all the sponsors out here. Oh, and look at that puppy. Oh. Shout out to Miss Ruby Doo.
Moving on to the shortest hole on the course, hole 15. It's a little par 3, tight, tunnely fairway, one of the few we have out here, and they've decided this year to elevate the basket, making it just a little bit harder. There is OB tall grass behind the basket that plays sort of like a bunker. You can see all kinds of shot here. There's forehands, there's backhands. The only thing you want to stay out of is exactly what Paige is going into.
That is her Marshall. That is actually maybe a chainsaw also. And
that was a miracle.
I don't know how that happened.
There's no way to go through that.
But she's breathing a sigh of relief as she misses her shot and gets through still. Kat throwing a beautiful flip up
almost an ace
with
run.
her PA1. And Smoothie McSmootherson gives us a little parky job here on that elevated basket.
Floaty the disky.
Wow, Luna life.
Sarah trying to flex something, maybe gets a little nose up. She is going to be in the crap.
And yes, that would be her fuse. Catrina for birdie. Yeah, little funny off the fingers there.
No problem. Easy par on the elevated basket. Sarah looks to be going for it from a knee.
Oh, no problem.
Lovely.
Slow-mo.
About time someone else got the limelight. That's such a great
She's not
putt.
impressed. She's like, what? You didn't think I was going to make that?
Paige is probably shocked to be out here.
Paige not capitalizing on the nice chainsaw through the trees. And leaving herself a comebacker. This is not an easy putt.
No. I almost feel like number plates should be mandatory because those little top of the basket skips are the worst.
And especially because, when you miss it high, at least you're like trying.
Confident, yeah.
You're really doing it.
You get punished for being confident.
Paige losing a couple there. Not happy with that. Hailey with the easy birdie.
No problem.
Moving on, Kat still has a commanding lead. Paige drops back a few, but Hailey trying to catch up. She's not going anywhere.
Hole 16, a challenging par 3, 352 feet. Some of these feature card ladies can reach it, but it is a really difficult line. You have to turn it over while also contending with these low-hanging branches all the way to the basket. There's no OB to worry about here, but there is a big hill on the right-hand side that if you turn something over, it can go pretty far down the hill. But no strokes to be worried about. You can confidently attack this green.
Hailey with the Kong on a flex line. Pulls it a little bit right, kicks out, will leave herself 150 feet for an approach shot. Sarah Gilpin with the bolt, her nice little turnover disc. Doesn't get the turn she's looking for. You can see that wind is also blowing a little bit heady and right to left. Leaves her out another couple hundred feet to approach the pin.
No harm, no foul out on the left-hand side. Makes for a pretty straightforward approach to the green with no trouble you have to worry about.
Kat going F7 roller. Kat is known for her roller. She put that down on a really good angle. But a little right equals a lot right on this hill.
Yeah, that's an interesting play here. I guess maybe she was wanting it to go a little bit more left before it flipped, but yeah, there's a big hill over there.
Paige going convict, hoping that's going to flip up.
Wow.
Doesn't get quite the height or the turn she's looking for, but ends up still inside the circle.
Little tree love.
For the best look at a birdie.
Mm-hmm. Up under the basket, no problem. Sarah does a little long jump putt.
Kat with a long approach from the bottom of the hill. No problem for this veteran.
Yep, a little floaty approach like she does so well. Hailey probably looking to jump putt this.
You think she's running this or just trying to put it close?
Oh, no, she's running it.
Oh, okay, yep.
She's running everything at all times.
Confirmed. Paige finding her stroke after that last 3-putt.
Such a great two.
Grabbing another one.
One of only 3 twos in the women's field. Doesn't surprise me that there's so few. That is a rip and a tough rip at that. Congrats to Lauren Butler and Casey Glade.
I watched
local hero.
Casey. I watched Casey get that one. It was beautiful.
Nice.
Put it like
Backhand?
12 feet backhand through the tight gap on the right.
Nice. Casey winning the fan vote this week, making it on the first feature card.
Thanks to Discraft for presenting the Ledgestone Insurance Open. Got a lot of exciting stuff happening over there, especially this year with their new pickup of Macbeth.
Doing big things at Team Discraft. Moving on to hole 17, the final par 4 of the round. I love this hole as well. It's a carefully crafted hole with a really cool green. You want to throw a big drive as far as you can out here. You want to finish left as much as possible. There's a Mando on the right you don't want to play around with, and then it's set yourself up for a sidearm or a backhand turnover into this very steeply sloping green. There's a lot of bushes around the green, a lot of ways to get in trouble. If you go deep, there's no way to get to the basket. So just trying to pump one off the tee here.
Paige getting a little further right than she wants with her bio defender, but she's trying to just pop off as much distance as she can. The closer you are to that approach, the more likely it's going to not roll away.
Exactly. There is the tall grass on the left-hand side that's out of bounds, so that is why you'll see these feature card women kind of ripping it over to the right by accident, I would say. A little scary over on the left-hand side.
Hailey flexing her Kong a little right, but she's still got that open approach.
Smoothie off the tee here, Sarah Gilpin.
Leaving herself about 220. That's all you really need here.
Catrina working the hyzer.
H1V2 also not trying to get distance, just trying to put it out to the left.
Sarah finally throwing her sidearm that we talked about earlier. Maybe putting it a little deeper than you want.
That's a tough spot.
It is a tough spot. She'll be tucked up deep on the corner there. Probably won't be able to see the basket.
Kat going with an H1 sidearm approach. She wants this to hyzer at the perfect spot. It looks like it's a little deep, but there might be a look through there to get the birdie.
Definitely. It opens up if you cut through those trees.
Hailey also looking for that skip, but also a little deep, and that is a tough place to be.
Paige gets down there with a look at the pin.
And Anheuser putt, laying it nicely. She'll have an easy tapper for the birdie.
No rolls here. Sarah, a lot deeper than I thought she was, looking to work a forehand roller.
Such a tough one here.
So tough.
And now she's going to leave herself a putt.
Wow.
But wow. Okay.
Wow.
That was way better than I thought it was going to be.
That was amazing.
Hailey going to turnover putter and trying to settle this on the hill, but cut roller inside her range. She's good. Kat.
It's not open.
Like there is a little spot, but yeah, as you see, not enough to actually take a putt at it. Hailey for par. And the putting woes continue, and that is a bit devastating. Any misses on this basket are likely to roll, and you can see now she has a 50-footer, which she almost cans. Oh my goodness.
I think she makes it.
That might have been a spit through. Oh, it was.
It was a spit
through. Oh
through.
no.
Oh, she even gets the
she even fist bumped.
Well, it deserved it. She made the putt, it just didn't stick.
Ugh, that's devastating.
Dang disc catchers. Sarah saving her par, no prob, after that excellent forehand roller, and we have Paige looking for a bird, taking it from the knee.
Should be pretty standard here.
Only 7 birdies in the women's field today. It's a tough hole. It surprises me there's so few because I think it is pretty straightforward, but these rollaways on this slopey green, anything can happen.
So Paige catching another stroke there to bring it within 1 with Catrina. And Hailey unfortunately drops back a couple despite the fact that she threw some pretty good shots.
Yeah, she was telling me about this hole in particular. It was a real heartbreaker for her. Now I see why. Moving on to hole 18. The final hole is a par 3. Really fun shot. You're way up high. You throw across a big gully and the basket's up on a hill on the other side. It still is slightly downhill. It plays more like I would say 330 or 340. you just don't want to hyzer out, because if you land on that side hill, it can skip and go way down the hill.
Paige with her felon left a little bit left. She wanted to kind of flex out a little bit further right, but she'll still have a look for birdie.
Yeah, you can't really just throw a hyzer here because you will mess with those branches on the right-hand side. You got to throw a flex line. You see Sarah trying to do that, but she floats it a little more than you want. Gets a little nose up. She'll be outside circle 2.
Cat with the H3 V2, trying to pop it to flat. It gets a little bit of glide, but she's still going to leave herself outside the circle for a long putt on a tricky green.
We had a tailwind on this hole, and you couldn't quite feel it until you watched your disc fly.
There's the line we're looking for.
She forces
Hailey
it over.
gets that flat shot, but a little bit high. Leaving herself a long approach.
Yeah, that tailwind was really pushing.
No real looks at birdie here, but this is on a very birdieable hole. I would see some ladies making some corrections here for tomorrow.
They actually had a $10,000 ace fund or ace prize during the practice round. Pay $5, possibly win $10,000.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah. Typical Ledgestone stuff.
Would you, if you won the $10,000, would you still play the tournament?
Am I allowed to say no? I would say my answer is definitely not.
Gilpin tapping out her par here to finish off. Great to see her here on this feature card. I love seeing the regional and local women getting some feature, and it's been fun watching her and her skills.
Especially Sarah. She's an all-around great person to play with. Super nice and super talented. You can see the Nats taking over.
So a bunch of pars to finish, but we've had an exciting time here. Catrina shooting very well, even leaving a few out there with a -6. Paige right behind her with a -5, and then Hailey King really still in the mix, even though she dropped down to a -2 there at the end. We look forward to rounds 2 and 3. Thanks to Discraft and GK Pro for bringing us this amazing coverage. Thanks, Madison, for joining me in the booth.
Yeah, of course. Always a pleasure with Hokum, and we looking forward to see you guys in the second round coverage for the ladies.